A man named John Maynard Keynes once said, "The best way to destroy the capitalist system is to debauch the currency. By a continuing process of inflation, governments can confiscate secretly and unobserved an important part of the wealth of their citizens." Now, maybe you didn't know it, but that is the grandfather of our current economic system, John Keynes. We operate, it's a capitalist system, but there's different schools of thought. There's an Austrian school, Chicago school, Keynesian. And that's what we're going with. You probably would be a Keynesian if you thought that the bailouts and all that stuff was a good thing. Dumping all the money into the banks, the too big to fails, we didn't want to face up to that. Let's have the government give them money. That's that's one of his key points of his theory, that in times of need, when the government can be the spender of last resort, and it'll get the economy going. Well, maybe that works a little bit, but seeing as how that's what we've been doing for the past however many decades, we're at a dead end now. But what I really want to talk about is the whole point of debauching the currency. So what does that mean exactly? Let's have an example. Way back when, gold and silver coins used to actually circulate. People would pass these things around. That's an old 50-cent piece. How many hands have touched that thing? How many pockets has that 50-cent piece ridden in? Good luck finding one like that today, because 50 cents just isn't worth so much anymore. If you get one of these, you just throw it in a coffee pot or something, right? So, let's talk about this a little bit. This is a 1907 $2.50 gold piece. It's the only one I have. It's mounted in a ring. Sorry, I can't show you it better. But this is about the size of a dime. See that? 100 years ago, this was worth $2.50. Today, just the coin, forget about the ring holding it, just the coin, the gold in the coin is worth about $100, approximately. That is a currency that has been beaten down. It's been debauched. It's only worth, it went from, this used to be $2.50, now it's 100. That's going in the wrong direction. Now, silver, pain in the butt to carry around 20 of these bad boys. Feels nice, but they came up with the silver certificate. Now, if you see on here, it says, probably can't read it, but it does say, "This certifies that there is on deposit in the Treasury of the United States of America $1 in silver payable to the bearer on demand." This is a receipt. This means that there's one of these in a bank somewhere. You go up to the teller, say, "Hey, give me a real dollar." They say, "Sure, here you go." And I think that it would actually work so that, at some point in the game, this would be destroyed when, one of these is removed. Well, now we don't have that. We have a Federal Reserve note. All it says is, "This note is legal tender for all debts, public and private." That's it. There's nothing backing it. This is a fiat currency. It's a pure, true fiat currency. 1971 is when Nixon took the United States, off the vestiges of the gold standard. Nothing backs the currency except, it's the fiat system. It's a Latin word. It means by decree. I think it also encompasses faith. The government says this is worth $1. The people say okay, and they have faith in the government and the system and everything, so it works. And I'm not inherently against fiat currency. I think it could work just well, fine, just as well as the gold standard, if the people in charge of it were saints. And unfortunately they're not, they're humans. So it's not working out so well now. So, way back when, gold and silver was in circulation. Actually, briefly, in the Constitution, the silver is the only thing that's when, that's $1. 700, 400, I don't know. About 3/4 of an ounce of silver is $1. That's what the Constitution says. But anyway, Gold and silver used to circulate. Gold was pulled from circulation in 1933. Silver, they stopped using silver to mint your coins in 1964. At that point, everything became nickel, copper, nickel. I forget the exact percentages, but these, they're all made out of the same material, which is some percentage of copper and nickel in these things. Pennies used to be 95% copper. They are now, in 1982, they switched over to, they're mostly zinc. It's 97.5% zinc with 2.5% copper as a copper wash. Oh, yeah, and before I forget, even though this is only worth 30 cents or something in metal, I'll take it over that any day of the week. I'll put up with the inconvenience. I'd rather have a stack of 100 of these than 100 of those pieces of paper. I mean, there's something there at least in your hand. But no, they don't make those anymore either. Now they make these, and I don't even know what metal these things are made out of. It's, the last I looked, there's like 7 cents worth of metal in them, these dollar coins. I'd still take them over a piece of paper, though, to be honest with you. I have a couple rolls of them. So where does that bring us? We used to have gold, got rid of that in 33. Silver, you're out of here in 64. Copper, screw you in 82. Copper nickel, you're out of here as of whenever that was. And now, I don't have any props for this because it hasn't happened yet, but I've heard that, I'll put some links up for this too. There's language in the 2011 budget that will change the composition of our coinage. It's going to change it to steel, everything. Pennies, nickels, dimes and quarters, 50-cent pieces and dollars, probably. And it's going to be made out of steel. So, one more step in the cycle of destroying capitalism. Thank you, guys. And don't forget, this is not me saying that. That's the guy who started our, the economic system that we're running with. Keynes said that that's the best way to destroy capitalism. Now, on one more little thing, I used to hate pennies, right? Get rid of them. They're just annoying. They're just annoying. They add up. They're not worth a damn. Just get rid of them. Most people would probably say, okay, I understand that it takes 2 cents for the Treasury to mint a penny these days, so go ahead and make them out of steel. That makes sense. We shouldn't be throwing money away. Well, I got a problem with that, and I hope this video kind of explains why. That's not common sense. That is ignorance masquerading as common sense, because what has happened is the value of the copper hasn't changed. 100 years ago, a pound of copper gives you the same amount of utility as a pound of copper does today. So, well, now let's just make it out of steel to solve the problem? No, the problem is you've beat the currency up so damn bad that it's the currency that's not worth anything now. The pound of copper has stayed the same. A pound of gold, an ounce of gold, an ounce of silver, it's all the same. It's the currency that it's measured in is changing. Now, if our currency actually strengthened, at this point in time, this silver dollar might be worth only 50 cents. But that could be a good thing. Now you want to go buy one of these, a non-fancy year or anything, you're looking at like 18 bucks at a minimum. So, I don't know. As far as I'm concerned, it's a big red flashing sign. Most people probably just blow it off, think it's no big deal, whatever, don't even really care, think that much about it. But to me, it's a bright red warning sign, look out, what's next, what's coming up. Because it's, we're still in the beginning of this shit. So good luck, everybody. If you watched the whole thing, thank you. And I'll talk to you later.